everybody! Welcome to the Trailer Hitch, where we review trailers and say what we think about the snippet of tantalizing footage the studio has provided.
We review movie trailers.
Yeah, well, that's an easier way to say it. I was trying to add some flair. So before we see this trailer, they did this once. Way back in, I don't even know when Godzilla movies were popular.
But then they remade King Kong a bunch of times.
Yes. This is off the Kong Skull Island with Dr. Steve Brule.
For your health.
That's the King Kong we're dealing with.
Is Steve Brule plays King Kong?
No, he's not King Kong. That would be amazing.
Oh, he was in a King Kong.
Yes, I think Steve Brule played a crazy person on Kong Skull Island.
I think I remember this. John C. Reilly? He's the best.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
He is the best, yeah.
So anyway, Godzilla vs. Kong is two giant monsters beating the hell out of each other. That's appealing. It had a huge market in, the 70s? The 60s? Godzilla would fight a giant moth, and then he'd fight a giant metal Godzilla.
And in those movies, it was just like a guy in a rubber suit.
Correct.
Hey, I wonder if we can... There was an old one, right?
Oh, we should look at the original, yeah.
So now this is great because we'll be able to see how trailers have evolved, too.
This is brilliant. Okay, today we're basically reviewing King Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong.
Do you think they were like, it's only fair that we put Godzilla first this time to give him a shot?
Probably.
I guess it's an easy way to differentiate the two. Like when you've got Ghostbusters and then you've got Ghostbusters 2016. So instead of using the year, the way you say it will dictate what movie you're talking about.
I bet in the pitch room, they're like, hey, let's just lose the king. And then it'll be different for people that are looking on IMDb.
Kong versus Godzilla.
But then someone else is like, what do we go one step further? You want to get crazy? Let's swap them. So it's Godzilla versus Kong. No one will know what's happening.
So this is the original 1962 trailer for the... Is this the first King Kong versus Godzilla? The first time these two got together?
I think this is the only time they got together.
Okay, all right. So let's watch this.
Okay, Godzilla versus King Kong, or King Kong versus Godzilla.
Here we go.
Already, hold on, that's the first difference. Is there... Oh, what is that?
That was the guy in the suit that I was talking about.
No, you got to use your imagination. I'm using mine. I'm talking to a rabbit.
No, you don't need to use your imagination when you're watching a movie. Anymore, at least. Maybe that's why movies are terrible now.
Because people don't have to use their imagination?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do if you're watching, like, the Snyder Cut. If you think it's good, you have to imagine that it's good.
Imagine that you're watching a good movie.
So anyway, this is King Kong versus Godzilla as opposed to Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes, and this is 1962.
He must have lost his crown at some point between 62 and now. He disavowed the monarchy. Kong is like, me no need crown.
Me love Meghan Markle.
You should not be forced to obey ruler.
Okay, let's watch this.
The first tagline is, it's catastrophic.
The mightiest monsters of all time.
I would have been psyched in... Yes! Can you pause it? We gotta watch this.
Yeah, this looks like a great movie.
I'm all in on the 1962 version. The sheen that we see reflecting off the rubber face of Kong in the background there, it's a little hard to get past. But this is still amazing. I gotta say,
maybe he's Italian.
That's true. He's just greasy. He had a big pasta dinner last night.
He's just got like a belly full of cheese and red wine.
Yeah. Anyway, let's watch the rubber monkey man beat up the rubber dinosaur man.
The uncomfortable King Kong.
Wait, did they call him the uncomfortable King Kong?
Yeah, well, I guess being in that costume's got to be really uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what it is. The uncomfortable King Kong.
I hope that's what he's saying. Right, but anyway, let's see.
Strong enough to challenge him. The uncomfortable King Kong.
He did say uncomfortable.
It's the uncomfortable King Kong. Who can stop Godzilla? Who has the power to take on the king of monsters? Only the uncomfortable King Kong.
Maybe he was hibernating. He was just trying to sleep, and then all of a sudden the humans showed up.
He's like, oh,
so uncomfortable.
He would rather be asleep.
Slept wrong. He slept with the window open.
So Kong, the beast that sleeps with the window open and sleeps wrong.
Okay, let's keep going.
Where sensuous maidens offer themselves in ritual sacrifice to his brute.
Sensuous maidens, hey?
Do you think they let that announcer just
say whatever he
the hell
wanted?
he wanted?
Yeah. They didn't
All
have
his adjectives are wrong.
Back then, they didn't have writers. They were just like, just say whatever you want.
Like, I'm sorry, I called him uncomfortable. It just slipped out. Like, no, we're fine. This movie has no budget. We're sticking with that.
I find this very interesting. They're talking about his brain.
Godzilla has a brain about this size. He is sheer brute force. While Kong...
Well, they really slowed down the action here in the trailer.
Yeah, back then, I guess they just showed entire scenes from a movie in the middle of the trailer.
Yeah, just they're talking about whatever.
That's a pretty good idea. Like, I mean, this explains in a nutshell why this is such a dynamic battle.
And why Kong has a fighting chance.
Yeah.
King Kong.
I've seen better monkey outfits at Party City. Like, look at those. Like, you can see, are those boobs? What's going on over there?
I think the old school, to show it was like a gorilla and not a bear, they would show his monkey breastises.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Heading for their colossal collision, shattering every obstacle that stands between them in the most fantastic rampage of annihilation ever.
It's a rampage.
Ah, it is. It's like the old video game Rampage.
Yeah.
Or the movie
with The Rock
interpretation with The Rock.
Yes.
What about The Rock versus both these guys?
I would watch that.
Godzilla versus Kong versus Dwayne Johnson.
But it's the character from the Fast and the Furious movies, so he just drives cars.
Just into their leg, into their foot, and then he runs and gets another car.
On film.
That looks pretty good
King
for
Kong
62.
stamped Tokyo into the ground, holding a beautiful girl in his grasp.
Wait, why is that? Why has Kong got that chick? For like moral support?
He's like, be uncomfortable. You think you have problems?
Me can only punch Godzilla with one hand, because me have other hand full of girl. This so uncomfortable.
Oh, look, so the top comment is 2021. The rematch is finally coming.
Amazing.
I think there's 5 seconds left. Let's see. Don't miss the,
let's do
the
it.
Battle of the Centuries. So now this is the rematch that has taken 60 years to happen, or it's almost 60, right? It'll be 59.
Just about. Almost to the nose.
They should have waited one more year to have a nice even number, you know?
Yep.
All right, let's see what we got here. Definitely, it's definitely higher definition.
Those buildings look slightly more realistic than the ones in the original King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yep. All right, here we go. It'd be better if that guy was like, the rematch everybody has been waiting for.
Yeah, I miss certain elements of that. Like, you won't believe what's about to happen. Look how much better the buildings look.
Now he's just mildly uncomfortable.
Not as uncomfortable as he was before, but still a little uncomfortable.
Now he just has a little stiff neck.
I will be so happy. I know it's not going to happen, but if in this trailer there's a scene where a guy pulls out a marble and he's like, hold on, let me stop the action. Godzilla's brain is the size of this marble.
Yeah, if they just take that exact scene and just
if
drop
they cut that clip and
or
put it in this?
It's just like they cut to like Matthew McConaughey sitting on a couch and he grabs remote control, turns on the TV, and that's what he's watching. Those two guys.
Well, that's part of the movie that he's watching the original movie? That's getting too meta. I think that's too meta for two guys in giant rubber costumes punching each other.
That'd be awesome, though. Oh, it's sad.
I'm always sad when Kong's in chains and on the boat.
Yeah.
Now he's uncomfortable.
Oh, he is uncomfortable, yeah.
Because of the chains and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
So Kong's got a little buddy.
I knew that they had a bond. And I think that in some way, Kong did the same.
This guy does not look very smart.
No, he does not. I mean, I'm not. Maybe he is. Maybe that's his.
I guess he's probably looking at like. It'd be funny if that it's not even Godzilla. It's like the Loch Ness monster. They just like they bring him in.
It's like I was not expecting that in this film.
Okay, let's see what happens.
He's looking at that. Yeah, I might make the same face if my boat was about to get cut in half. Oh! He did the Die Hard jump.
Yeah, he did.
He jumped like Bruce Willis off the building.
That was pretty cool. All right, so I actually want to see that, even though it's probably going to be terrible.
I was distracted because we watched the 1962 one first. Everyone just looks like a normal schlub. And then they're all supermodels in this. Like all the I've interacted with a bunch of government employees, and they don't look anything like that six-pack ab man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I have seen government employees make the same face as that guy on the boat.
Yeah. Most of them do, actually.
Most of them do, and I assume they're all, anyone I'm sitting on the phone with, trying to get something fixed when I have to deal with the government, I imagine they're all making that face.
Yeah, they are. That's what they call DMV face.
Which one do you think is better between these two films?
Well, I really want to see both of them. My guess is going to be that this movie is going to be like 3 hours long, and there's going to be like a half hour of actual Godzilla Kong fighting.
Yeah. To each their own, but I did not care for the Man of Steel Superman movie.
Yeah.
Because they were all so invulnerable. There were no consequences when anyone got hit. Like Superman would hit the General Zod bad guy, and he'd be like, ah, and fly through a skyscraper, but he'd be fine.
Right.
And then he'd hit Superman would be, ah, but he was also fine because they're invulnerable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's gotta happen to some degree.
Yeah.
Unless they change it up and, like, Godzilla bites Kong's arm off, but that would be sad. I wouldn't want that to happen either.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool watching Kong do the Kylo Ren. He did
like throw a temper tantrum.
Yes, he did throw a temper tantrum. But I like that he did the trick where he kind of took the laser and caught it and then threw it back at him.
But that doesn't make any... How is the monkey catching laser beams?
I don't know. I think he was probably watched the new Star Wars is like, maybe me can do that.
He's like, or he watched the old Kong versus Godzilla. He's like, oh, if this really going to happen, me going to watch the 1962 version to avoid those mistakes. Me will catch lasers and have monkey laser power. By the way, me not king anymore. Me just Kong. Kong no believe in labels. I would just like to watch a movie where Kong talks like that the whole time, and he could be doing anything. He could be going to the giant grocery store.
Yeah, they should make that movie.
So in closing, it's going to be like watching a really bad drama and then with patches of WWE put in there.
It's kind of like, I mean, I understand from a writing perspective that you need to have some sort of attachment to the humans that are in the story in order for it to be interesting. But that was like the whole excuse for the awful ending of Lost. They were like, we don't care about who the smoke monster is or what the numbers mean or anything like that. It's all about the relationships between these characters that we've grown to love. And it's like, no, that's a cop-out.
In this movie particularly, because then it would be called The Relationship Between Characters instead of Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes. That would be awesome, though. If they disguise this as like a chick flick and then all of a sudden Godzilla shows up and eats your favorite character.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. They have the scene at the end where like the lovers break up and then the guy comes back. He realizes he made a mistake.
They should do that.
Julia! And she leans out the window like, yeah. And he's like, I made a mistake. I want to get married. She's like, I know, me too. And then King Kong steps on the dude.
The dude, he's holding up the boombox and then all
he's holding up the boombox.
Steps on top of him.
And then Kong steps on him. She's like, ah! And then we're right into it.
That's amazing.
I don't know. Out of the things we reviewed, I think this is the one I want to see the most.
Yeah, I want to see it regardless. Like, because the thing is that this goes along with my theory. I've always said that if you're going to remake a movie, you should remake a movie that's not good. Like, instead of remaking Karate Kid or Ghostbusters or, Back to the Future, take a movie that didn't have the technology to do what they were trying to do and then inject the technology into it. That I'm game for.
Okay.
You know, like Clash of the Titans. Even though it wasn't that great of a movie, the remake, I was like, I respect the idea to remake it because at the time they just didn't have the technology to make those things. So if you take an awful movie and remake it, I think that's what people should do. Fix them instead of ruining old ones.
Whatever was a good idea, but they didn't pull it off well enough the first go round.
Yeah.
Due to limitations of finances or special effects. Man, that is good.
Then there are some movies that are so bad that you shouldn't remake it because it's so good, like Troll 2. Like, nobody should touch that. Unless they...
No one will ever touch that. No one is going to remake Troll 2. You're safe. If that's what you're worried about, you are completely safe.